there, Melanie with 10 Layers Deep here, and today I'm tackling this mountain of cucumbers, and the way we're going to preserve them is we are going to be making dill pickles. So if you're curious to see how we make dill pickles here, stick around. If you've never made dill pickles and you're curious to see what it's all about, if it's hard, if it's not, if it's for you, I encourage you to get comfortable and let's get started. So first things first, if you have long hair, very highly suggest putting it up, getting it out of your face, and that way it's not running the risk of ending up in your pickles. And then just what I had done to prep to get to this point here, all I did was clearly pick our cucumber patch. If you don't have a big cucumber patch, I highly suggest checking out your local farmer's market. They often will have an abundance when it's the season. And clearly they're dill pickles, so I have some dill here and then just some dried stuff also. We love to have garlic, and then this is just horseradish leaf that I've washed up. And yes, it is a little holy. It was a battle of the flea beetle, and I'm not gonna give up because I like adding that to mine. So that's just what I add, and feel free if you want maybe a little spicier, you can add some hot peppers, or yeah, you can kind of go crazy with pickles, but this is just how I'm gonna make them today. So I washed my pickles, got all this prepped, kind of separated some garlic heads here, and then I went and washed and sterilized all of my jars here. Oh, and there's my coffee. I'm just gonna go put this away, wash my hands, and let's get going. All right, hands are clean. Let's get started. So I had already pre-seasoned, so I have the garlic, dill, and horseradish. So now we simply put the cucumbers in the jar. So how I like to stack my jars is I always tip both ends. Some people say leave them on, some people say take them off. I was taught take them off, so I take them off. So I like to put my jar once I've started like that. And I like putting a few bigger ones in, kind of a good base. And these cucumbers aren't from my garden. I'll be completely honest, they're from my mom's garden. And I'm gonna brag it up because this year, her cucumbers are nearly perfect. They're so straight, they're so crispy, they're so, like, she's been picking them very consistently, and I was there, fortunate enough to grab a pick-in off of hers. And yeah, these cucumbers just turned out superb. Like, usually there's more curled ones like this, but no, she swears it's the irrigation. She switched to a bit of drip irrigation, and wherever she had the drip irrigation, the garden's just, I mean, her garden's always fantastic, don't get me wrong, but this year it's exceptional, and it was a drought year in this area. So okay, so you can see I pretty much have like the base of the bottom in big ones. So then now what I like to do is you look for the mediums and you kind of fill in the gaps before you go on to the next row, because it'll be near impossible to get to the bottom once it starts to really get big. Let's see if I can. Helps to have long fingers, right? And if not, and you don't have to get it like super tight, although I do like to have maximum pickles per jar, so try to get as many in as you can. Let me see here. So that kind of seals up the bottom. I can maybe fit one more in there. So let me, this is a nice guy. So thin and slim. Right here. Okay. So that kind of finishes at the bottom layer. So now we work our way up. And see, like this, when you get to this situation, it's not going to work because you want to leave at least a ½ inch. Well, I do, a ½ inch of head space. And this means that it's going to impede in that ½ inch head space. So not a good fit. Sometimes you just reposition. See, there's a smaller pickle there. So I'll just put him there and take this longer one. It's not going to work. So it'll go in the next jar. That's fine too. Just get a little bit smaller pickle, cucumber. It's not a pickle yet. And keep filling that jar. It's pretty easy and repetitive. Kind of challenging too because every jar is a little different. All right, so that is as full as I'm gonna get this jar. So to top off this, we add, aggressive here. We add some mustard seeds, so a couple shakes of mustard seed. Being a little more careful than that, and also celery seed. And this is ready for adding the brine, which is heating on the stove. So I'll put that there, and then we just repeat the process, and yeah, pretty easy. So new sterilized jar, and what I like to do is grab a generous portion of horseradish. I like putting it in the bottom. A nice big clove of garlic. Ooh, it's a double. It's like a double. It's like a double yolker, but it's a double garlic that's fused together. That's cool. Okay, and then something that I like to do is I always crush my garlic. It doesn't have to be much, because garlic's kind of like one of those compounds or like heat packets where you have to break it apart and then it heats up. Well, garlic is kind of like when you crush it, it mixes the garlic goodness, and it actually releases and does a bunch of good things. Research it, Google it for more specific, because I'm sorry, I'm brutal when it comes to explaining. So I'm going to put 2 garlic cloves. Now my hands are all sticky. And these are fresh, so they're a little, usually garlic is a lot easier, the peel comes off a lot easier, but these are nice and fresh. And local, thanks Kim and Harv. Beautiful garlic. Save some for planting and using a lot for pickling. Put it in. Then I like to do a dill, and I'm also doing a pinch of my dry. It's kind of a double whammy there. So I'll keep this over here. Alright, and then we grab some of the bigger ones. Girl. Girl. Beep. Another one done. Oh. Forgot. Come across a jar like this. Clearly not clean if you can see remnants of a line of whatever was in there last time. So this needs to get re-washed. Don't use something that's dirty for canning. Definitely not. It's always good to do a double check over. If you hear snoring, it's Wallace. He's under the table. It is by far his favorite spot to hang out, regardless of which house we're in, like where we've moved, because we've moved a few times, you guys know this. Yeah, this is, underneath this table is always his jam. That's where he always hangs out, because usually we're around the table. Okay, so it's 2 cloves of garlic, got my dill, horseradish, fill this jar. Like I said, a few big ones. Put it in and then work around it. Oops. Alright, I broke one, so I have room for one more little guy. I'm gonna seal everything in and that's it. Done. Couple of shake. Oh, jeez, I gotta stop doing that. Another one done. With these little jars, it's kind of nice to find like a size that fits, and then just seek out that size. Like this one's kind of about that high. You know, about this high. cucumbers left over, which is perfectly fine. I have other projects for them. So now I'm going to bring my hot boiling brine over here and we will fill, oh my God.